What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Mythic Legion's Figura Obscura, the Headless Horseman. And so here we have the Mythic Legion's Figura Obscura, Headless Horseman, and his horse pose and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories. The Headless Horseman does come with two different head sculpts. We do get the jack-o'-lantern head, which looks nice. And then we do get the flaming jack-o'-lantern head, which also looks nice. If you don't want to have him with his head, he does come with a neck peg, which does peg in to simulate his head being chopped off. And then he does come with several sets of hands. We have a pair of grip hands. We have a pair of style pose hands. We have a left horizontal grip left hand. And then we also do come with a right hand that does hold his heads really nicely. And finally he does come with a cape, which does go around the figure nicely, and he does have a wireframe in it. And then he does come with his sword. The horse also does come with two accessories. We do get the calm mane, which he has on him right now. And then we have a more stylistic mane, which you can peg on the horse. Other than that, the Headless Horseman doesn't come with any other accessories, so with that out of the way, let's have a closer look at the Headless Horseman and his horse. So first off, we will be having a look at the horse for the Headless Horseman, and I have to say that Mythic Legions has a very, very beautiful horse sculpt here. The horse figure is very hard to capture in terms of its design. Drawing it is also just as hard, but overall I think they did a really good job with the entire look of the horse. It looks like a horse, granted a very menacing looking horse with piercing red eyes, but it's a horse nonetheless, and I absolutely love these teeth. They did a really good job with it. Really good job with all the straps on his head. You can see, I believe these are removable if you really wanted to. They do peg into the front of his mouth, but unfortunately he doesn't come with an alternate head or alternate parts to have a naked horse, so that is a little bit unfortunate that they didn't give you that option. Okay, but what we have here is a very, very good design. I love the sculpt work on this horse. You can see all the musculature here in his neck and his shoulders going down to his front legs. We have some of it, the tufts coming out of his hair covering his red hooves, which those were very interesting. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any horseshoes, but you can see his hooves are nicely detailed at the bottom. So really good detail there. And then we do have this centerpiece right here, which has this really nice design. We go on to the saddle, which I actually love the way the saddle came out. It has a lot of nice detail. You can see the covering on the horse is really nicely textured on both sides. Then we do have the foot loops right here, where you will put the foot of the Headless Horseman on to simulate him riding it. We have the reins right here, which you can have. And then we do have an area that you can actually put the sword if you don't want to have the Headless Horseman holding it. The sword goes right there on the side, so really do like that. If he came with another weapon, you could put it on this side too, but yeah, I love that inclusion when they include storage for stuff like that. He does have a knapsack right here, which this can come off if you really wanted it to. I'm going to keep it on because there's no reason to have it off. Again, the musculature on the horse is very nice, and the detailing on it is done exceptionally well. Just look at that detail that they did right here, the paintwork. Phenomenal. Everything on this horse is done beautifully. Even the tail is done really well. Now there is some weight to this figure. You can see the tail is starting to droop over time, and that might be an issue. Again, it's not that big of an issue because I'm just going to have mine pose, and there's no reason to have the horse's tail going out like that all the time. So yeah, it can also be used as a kickstand if you are having the horse rear up. Overall, I really do like this horse. They did a really good job with him. The sculpt work is beautiful. The paint is phenomenal. And just look at that face. I can't get enough of that face. It's very, very menacing. So that's the horse for you guys. So what we're going to do now is actually get him moved off to the side, and then we'll have a closer look at the Headless Horseman. And so here we have the Headless Horseman, and I have to say that the Four Horsemen did an absolute banger with this figure. He looks very, very menacing. I do have him with the flaming jack-o'-lantern head, which that's not what he comes with out of packaging. Out of packaging, we do have this jack-o'-lantern head, which it's essentially the same sculpt. There's really nothing different about the two jack-o'-lanterns, except the attachment of the flame effects. So yeah, I really, really love the flame effects. It's one of my favorite pieces of this character, and I really do love the story of Sleepy Hollow. Anytime I was in elementary school and they would get close to Halloween, I loved hearing the story of Sleepy Hollow. It's one of my favorite stories, and having this figure in hand just makes me appreciate that story even more. Really do like it. The jack-o'-lantern is done very nicely, and the flames are nice and translucent. They do start off yellow and then they do taper off into an orange, which that is very good. You can see how nice it looks. It's very nice and translucent. It just looks very impressive. I do like it. And like I said, if you don't want him to have the jack-o'-lantern head on, let's see if I can do this on camera, you can actually pull off his neck, and you can see there is a little peg here that you can actually peg in that, and that makes it look like his head got chopped off, although in the story his head got blown off by a cannon. And yeah, really do like that. That is very cool, very nice inclusion, and I love the way that looks. You can see the spine, his vertebrae, and then the meat inside his head. Really liking that, and he looks very cool with it. I really don't know how I'm gonna have mine displayed, but yeah, really do like the way he came out. Now, he does have a collar right here, which that does go with his not his jacket, but his cape, which we will put on him on our final thoughts. But yeah, really do like the overall design. I don't know what body he uses. I know there's some Mythic Legion collectors out there that know every part that this figure is made from. Me, it's a line I really don't want to get into, but yeah, I will get into figures like this. So this is a very cool looking figure, and it's one of my favorite stories as well. I do like this suit that he's wearing. The gambeson, I believe this is called, has these metal studs, which that looks really nice. It's made from leather, as you can see. The straps on it painted beautifully. He has a scarf right here done in this really nice purple, and then the collar piece just brings everything together. I especially love all the detail right here in his sleeves. Just look at how detailed that is. It actually looks like cloth. Very good job by the Four Horsemen sculpting this figure. And then on his gloves, you can see we have some more straps. He has a covering right here on his hand, and I do have him with his horizontal grip left hand right here. So yeah, he has a vertical grip on both hands for his sword, and then a horizontal grip for holding the reins. But yeah, I really do like the detailing on him. They did a really good job capturing a lot of good details. And just like with the horse, he does have weapon storage. If I can just get his sword really fast, you can see the sword does go on his side right there. Although honestly, I think I would prefer the sword to be on the horse rather than the horseman. But yeah, just look at all these belts and leather straps. The pouches look very good. They're even painted in this really nice purple, almost the same as his scarf right there. And then we do have a beige one right there. Well, not beige, but a dark purple, almost brownish one. So yeah, awesome detail here. The gambeson does come down all the way to his thighs, which you can see more detailing right here on his pants. This is just an absolutely great looking figure. Even his greaves have this really nice gunmetal feel to them. They look like metal. And then again, we have those straps, the leather boots that he would be wearing, covering his legs, connecting to the greaves. It's just very well done. And his boots, absolutely done great. I love the way this figure came out. There's really any bad thing I have to say about it is basically just from quality control. And unfortunately, being a Mythic Legion, he does have these peg holes in the back, and these are for wings and attachments. Then it's just with the customization that you can do with Mythic Legions, which that's one reason I don't want to get into them, because it's a rabbit hole I'm not willing to let my wallet suffer through. And as you would expect, chopping off his head does make him a little bit shorter. But yeah, really don't know how I'm gonna have mine displayed, but I will figure something out. So With that out of the way, guys, let's actually get the horseman and his horse compared to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have the Headless Horseman posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have the Headless Horseman posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have the Headless Horseman posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. Here we have the Headless Horseman posed next to a Mythic Legions Figura Obscura Krampus and a Mythic Legions Egalis. And for one final comparison, here we do have the Mythic Legions horse posed next to the McFarlane Build-A-Figure horse and a Figma horse. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's have a look at their articulation. We'll have a look at the horse's articulation first. The horse does have a ball joint here at the head, which does let him look down, and he can look up to about right there. He can pivot his head side to side, as well as get very little rotation on that. I believe we do have a ball joint here at the neck, which does let him lean down about that far. He leans his head up about that far, does tilt to the side, to the other side, and we get some very slight rotation. And then he does have a hinge right here in his foot, or in his leg. Front legs do go forward to about there. They go back to about right there. We do have a knee right here, which does lean back to about there. Does swivel here, and then his hooves do have articulation. A little bit stiff on mine. Let's see if I can get this to go. Yeah. The hooves do move forward and back as well, but again, they are kind of stiff on mine. No articulation in his body, but we do have articulation here in his legs, which do pivot outward slightly. They do move back and forward. Another hinge right here at the top, which is very stiff, but he does lean back to about right there. Goes forward to about right there. A knee right here, which does go forward to about right there. Swivels as well. Then we do have another hinge here in his ankle, which does go back, forward, and let's see. Does it rotate? No, it doesn't rotate, unfortunately. And then we do have another hinge right here, which goes forward and back, as well as rotate. So the horse does have some pretty good articulation, and I do like that. So, with the horse's articulation out of the way, let's have a look at the Headless Horseman. So moving the horse just slightly off screen and bringing back the Headless Horseman, having a look at his articulation, he does have a ball joint here at the head, which does let him look up. Now granted, this is probably the most articulated head because all the other heads are kind of limited. The flame effect does hinder with the collar, and then with the headless attachment, you don't get any articulation in the head. So yeah, it does have a really nice ball joint moving side to side all the way around, so I do like that. Arms are on pin and socket, so they do hinge out to about right there. They do spin all the way around, no problem. No bicep swivel, but we do have a swivel here at the elbow, as well as a bend, which goes to about 90 degrees. He does have a swivel here at the forearm, as well as a swivel and horizontal hinge here at the wrist, although he does have two hands that have vertical hinges. We do have a ball joint here at the torso, which is really nice, and because it is a Mythic Legion figure, you can pop this figure apart really easy, but you can see he doesn't just fall apart. So yeah, moves forward and back, side to side, rotates really nicely. Legs do kick forward to about right there. They kick back to about right there. Out to the side, no problem, he can deliver really nice side kicks. We do have a thigh swivel up high, single bend at the knee, going to about 90 degrees. Rotation here at his greaves. We have a hinge in the foot going forward, back, forward facing pin for rocker ankle, and that's about it. So overall, really do like the articulation here on the Headless Horseman. So with that out of the way, let's actually get these guys posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Mythic Legions Figura Obscura Headless Horseman pose for my final thoughts, and overall this is a very, very gorgeous piece. I absolutely love the way it came out. The horse is a really nice accessory. The Headless Horseman comes with a lot of good things, and I really do like the overall story of Sleepy Hollow, which is one reason I picked up this figure. When I saw this was announced on Instagram, it was to my shock that it actually sold out before I could even order it, which did upset me. Thankfully, the Mythic Legions team did put this guy up for pre-sale twice, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and I did get mine during the afternoon, and I am really liking the way he came out. Don't get me wrong, he still has some issues. As with all Mythic Legions, because the parts are interchangeable, some of the parts are rather loose compared to others, which is a little bit of an issue, especially when having him displayed with his pumpkin head. His wrist is kind of loose, as well as his forearm swivel, but overall, I still like the way the piece looks. Now, word of caution, do not keep him posed in this position for extended periods of time. Even though he is holding it right now and basically using the tail as a third point of contact, this is not a pose I would keep this figure in more than maybe a day, if that. I would rather just use this for like a picture, then move on and get him in another pose. But overall, this is a beautiful figure. I love the horse. It looks really good. I love the paint on it. The Headless Horseman also looks good. I love the details they put on him, especially with the chopped off head and the flaming pumpkin. It's all very good. I absolutely love this. Now here's a downside. If you weren't unable to pre-order this guy on, I believe it was the 3rd of October, you kind of missed out on him. He did go up for sale twice for about $120, about $140 shipped afterwards, which I think that's a bargain, seeing as how the horse is about $80 and the Headless Horseman is about $40. So yeah, it kind of evens itself out. But yeah, if you missed out on this figure, unfortunately, secondhand market is the only way to get this guy, and it's already going for about $250, which that is a huge price to pay. I am lucky that I got mine when I did, and unlike the Krampus, I didn't miss out on this one. So yeah, really happy I do have them, and Sleepy Hollow is one of my favorite stories, so having this figure in hand, it really makes my inner child happy. So with that out of the way, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other videos and unboxings. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified anytime I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.